SNV Netherlands Development Organization and the International Food Policy Research Institute through the Voice for Change Partnership Program partnered with 9 civil society organizations in Kenya to influence change in food and nutrition security, climate change resilience, renewable energy, and water, sanitation and hygiene.
Our main focus has been with Voice for Change, has basically been stimulating conversation and dialogue and contribution and support towards the policy environment.
A strong civil society has the power to move governments and the private sector to improve service delivery to citizens by using evidence.
Our work is to carry out research on topical issues in Kenya's economy and to highlight before the public issues, and at the same time have policy dialogue with government around common problems and how they may be solved.
The program was aimed at strengthening civil society organizations' capacity to act as advocates for change through training, on-the-job coaching, and learning from experts and peers during conferences and exchange visits.
Voice for Change project was one of capacity building, and the whole approach was how do we develop leadership.
The engagements were through workshops, meetings. The meetings are held regularly, supported by the project. We had also through media and making sure that the issues are addressed.
One of the key areas which was capacity building was actually of a lot of value. And so the project was very handy in supporting the organization to rethink and reposition itself through a new strategic plan, and later from that strategic plan, a business plan that has really assisted the organization to strategize in a better way and be able to start focusing on how it's going to sustain itself beyond the Voice for Change project.
We took a broad approach to include interventions that would target the farmers, the producers, the input suppliers, the transporters, all the way to the consumer.
Together with the International Food Policy Research Institute and local research institutes, high-quality evidence was developed to enable civil society present strong cases for change.
Our work has involved basically working with SNV, working with civil society organizations in Kenya, working with researchers, working also with local researchers in Kenya to generate evidence and support civil society organizations to use the evidence in advocating for better policies.
For our engagement, the first thing was really to try and bring all these different actors around the table and raise the issues, And of course, in order for us to have effective engagement, we relied on having evidence. So this particular project was working from the view of, without credible evidence, then you cannot have systemic change.
To be able to really make a change though, we realized that prioritization needs to change. So we conducted a study which was called The Effects of Poor Sanitation, and that is on well-being, on health and the environment.
Using collaborative approach, civil society organizations have been able to bring key stakeholders together for collective decisions and action.
We really got to understand the program, and we came up with modalities on how we would collaborate and work together.
We had issues of food safety that were not being addressed. There was no inclusion of the civil society organizations that represent the voices of the people in the community, both county and national level.
The NDMA, National Drought Management Authority, as a partner in achieving these particular goals of the project, was really key to our main objective of the project of ensuring service delivery while also building the resilience of the pastoral communities.
Civil society has pushed for inclusion in policy and budget processes and seen commitment of local governments and private sector.
How the governments are structured, for you to allocate funds or for you to allocate resources to any activity, it has first of all to be anchored under policy.
As a result of our effort, and the evidence that we produced from the study that we did for the budgetary analysis, we lobbied for increased allocation.
This approach has promoted transparency and accountability.
They also appreciated something we are calling budget tracking. Budget tracking is where a budget, say 90 million is allocated to agriculture. But out of that 90 million that is allocated to agriculture, how much is going to handle food loss?
We've been able to actually work with government agencies like the Kenya Bureau of Standards, whereby we've developed 4 critical standards that will create harmony in the sector, but also ensure that the end user of consumer energy products get value for their money. So what we did is we've been able to, through the project, through the Voices for Change framework, is to support state agencies in the coordination role when it comes to clean cooking.
Through evidence-based advocacy, civil society organizations will continue to enhance their voice for policies and services that benefit all.
Voice for Change was a foundation project. We want to build upon it to be able to further our agenda around in ensuring an enabling environment for sustainable development. All that requires a particular efficient policy environment, and so we will be building upon that particular foundation with our subsequent project, but also with our current project.